You know, we all have this shadow that follows us everywhere, but it's not the one you see on a sunny day. No, this one's a digital ghost, and it's built from every single click, post, and search we make online. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see just how visible that ghost really is.
So let me ask you a question, straight up. Do you think you're private online? It sounds simple, doesn't it? But the answer, well, it's a whole lot more complicated than you probably think. Most of us, we use private browsing, we have passwords, but is any of it really enough? And this really gets to the absolute heart of it. We live with this myth that our privacy settings are like this bulletproof shield. The reality? All of our data is forming this gigantic, interconnected web, and honestly, most of it is completely public and way outside of our control.
Okay, so if our data is just out there for the taking, why do so many of us feel pretty secure? Well, that leads us right into our first big idea, the privacy illusion. A lot of this comes down to this really weird quirk in our brains called the privacy paradox. See, we all say we care deeply about our privacy, but then we trade our personal info for that little hit of convenience or a social connection. That immediate reward, it just feels so much more tangible than some vague, far-off risk. All right, so if we're constantly giving this data away, where in the world does it all go? Let's take a look at this invisible web where every last bit of it lives. Now, here's a crucial point that trips a lot of people up. Your data isn't hidden away on some spooky, deep web. No, it's right out in the open, on the regular internet we all use every day. The only reason it feels invisible is because it's scattered into thousands of tiny pieces. It's disaggregated, just waiting for someone to come along and connect all the dots. And the sheer scale of this is, wow, it's just mind-boggling. 5.2 billion, that's how many people are on social media right now. Think about that. Each and every one is like a little fountain, just constantly generating a stream of public data points, day in and day out. So this data web really stands on four huge pillars. First, you've got social media, where a crazy 81% of us feel like we have zero control. Then you've got data brokers, these companies you've never heard of that have detailed profiles on basically every adult in the US. And if that's not enough, add in billions of public records, home addresses, family members, and all those old, forgotten accounts you made years ago. You can see how the picture starts to get pretty detailed pretty fast. Okay, so we've got all these little digital breadcrumbs scattered all over the place. But how easy is it, really, for someone to piece them all together? Let's do a little demonstration to see exactly how it works. To do this, we're going to use a totally fictional person. We'll call her Samantha Lee. We're going to show you how an investigator uses something called open source intelligence, or OSINT, to build a surprisingly detailed profile using only publicly available information. And let's be super clear, this involves zero hacking, none. It all starts with just one tiny clue, her username. A quick search, and bam! The same username pops up on Reddit and GitHub. Instantly, we've got clues about her hobbies and what she might do for a living. Looks like something in tech. Okay, next up, social media. We spot a cool mural in the background of a profile picture. A quick reverse image search tells us it's in Melbourne. Then, we find a casual comment she made on a Reddit forum complaining about her commute. And just like that, we've pinpointed her exact suburb. See how this works?
Now that we have a name and a general location, we can start cross-referencing that with public records and, of course, her LinkedIn profile. And there you have it. We've got her employer, her exact job title, data analyst, and her entire educational history. Picture is getting crystal clear.
And for the final piece of the puzzle, a quick check on a data breach website like Have I Been Pwned? And bingo, her email address and an old password exposed in a data breach years ago. If she reused that password anywhere else, well, that's the key to the kingdom. In less than 30 minutes, we've built a detailed, accurate profile from scratch.
So what, right? Who cares that a profile like Samantha's can be pieced together so quickly? What's the actual real-world harm here?
It matters a whole lot, because this kind of info, what we call personally identifiable information, or PII, this is the jet fuel for cybercrime. It gets compromised in more than half of all data breaches, and it's the foundation for things like identity theft and financial fraud.
And just think about this. This quote absolutely nails it. All this public data is the primary ammunition for what we call social engineering attacks. Scammers use these details, your job, your city, your interests, to make their phishing emails and scam calls feel incredibly personal and terrifyingly convincing.
and the consequences can be devastating. We're talking about everything from doxing and relentless online harassment to full-blown identity theft, those hyper-targeted phishing scams we just mentioned, and even serious damage to your reputation from something you might have posted a decade ago.
Okay, I know that was all pretty heavy, but here's the good news, and I really mean it. You are not powerless in this situation. Let's walk through a few clear, actionable things you can do right now to fight back.
First off, become your own private investigator. Go audit your own footprint. Google your name, your usernames. Then, play defense. Lock down all your social media, set it to private, and scrub any unnecessary personal details. Build stronger walls with a good password manager, and turn on multi-factor authentication everywhere. You can even go on the offense and formally opt out of those data brokers. But honestly, the most powerful tool you have is just being mindful. Just take a breath and think before you post.
Look, at the end of the day, your digital story is being written, second by the data you leave behind. The only real question left is, are you going to be the one holding the pen?